Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Valagar Aloevain, back for some more Dungeons & Dragons Online. So for this quest here, it is our final part of the Eveningstar Chain 1 quest. It is bestowed by Gavin here. Now in order to actually get this quest, you do need to have first completed the 3 quests here, which are out in the King's Forest Slayer. Now once you pick this guy, he's actually going to be the quest entrance. So we're going to just go ahead and jump on in. Now, as soon as we get in, of course, we're going to summon in that hireling and get him going. Now, you will notice, and I have been asked this, why do I actually use a hireling? It's not needed. For the most part, as you know, I really don't use the hirelings that much. Typically, they're standing here at the start. Often, I'll use them if they have, like, Death Ward or something like that. Let's check to make sure I have evasion. Alright, so I'll use them if they have Death Ward and be able to continue on. Alright, so let's get going. So the first thing here, we are going to want to proceed ahead to Anna. And after a moment, everything's going to go dark, and we're going to have some guys busting out of the fence here. Now, I definitely recommend fighting the Necromancer first. Of course, any Carnage Reapers or anything like that spawn in. Now, I typically go after the Necromancers first, and then once you kill that first one, definitely stop a moment to kill the undead version of him, if he spawns in. Reason being, with these quests, Necromancers will summon other enemies, so when they die, they'll come back as a zombie, which, for obvious reason, makes things a little bit more difficult, as it'll just increase the amount of enemies that you have to fight. Alright, so as you'll see, they did quote-unquote defeat Anna right here. However, again, she is a vital NPC. She can't actually die. So for now, you just want to take out the rest. Once they're all dead, we can actually talk to Anna again. So she's not dead. Alright, now in this village, there are 2 bonfires we can light. This will give for an optional for lighting the bonfires, which is a nice little extra bit of experience. And we can head on. Now again, we are going to have a few of them. So the path that I take, rather than heading straight right here, though at times I will actually pull them, killing who I can when I can. So as you see, they'll rubber band, run back, and I'm going to actually do the same with the caster here. Let's have her rubber band. As I just want to kill the actual random trash. Now, because she is a priestess, if you guys know anything about them, what they'll do is they will self-sacrifice, or not self-sacrifice, they will sacrifice one of the drow near it and restore it back up to its full hit points, as well as giving it some additional damage reduction temporarily. We have another bonfire here, so I'm gonna go grab that last warrior. Now, once the warriors are dead, if that's the last warrior in the area, again, you may not see it. It might be on the other side of a wall, or an archer coming down from here. Eventually, like if there's nobody in the area, it will actually kill her. If not, you can fight her. She'll kill somebody. And then you just keep going back and forth like that. Alright, so now that we killed the trash over there, I'm going to head north, heading towards the tree. Now in this section, it can actually change which enemies you have to fight. So here we are getting undead. So again, I'm focusing on those necromancers. Now, when something dies, if it does spawn in an enemy, that will be his spawn location. So whether or not he rubber bands is going to be based on that specific location of where he spawned in. Alright, so we got another necromancer here. As you see, due to all the zombies and skeletons, he has that damage reduction. There we go. Now, over here is the farmstead, and it will keep spawning in enemies. Again, some of which are undead. And it will also start spawning in necros. Now, again, there are different enemies that they'll spawn in. This one, we have the necro. It can also spawn in slaves. Ooh, Famine Reaper. He needs to go away. Alright. So I guess we had killed that necromancer there. Alright. So after a while in this area, it will actually spawn in a proper orange name kind of boss fight. Again, I'm just working on trying to kill some of this trash here. That way it makes it a little bit easier. So there he is.
You know, I asked the soldiers not to damage my specimens too much. I like them to be recognizable.
So I'm just gonna kind of go ham. Now, again, you don't want to drag him too far away, because if he does rubber band, that is definitely really, really bad, as he'll go back up to full hit points. Now, while you're fighting him, if you are able to have somebody who can deal with trash, definitely recommend taking that out. Though he will, at intervals, spawn in additional trash. Killing what he has will remove that damage reduction. Even if it is just temporarily. As you see, we're now doing full damage. And really that helps you go through them a lot faster. Now, once he dies, this section here will be completed. All that's left will be to take out any trash that's left. So once we're done, we can grab any chest that spawned in, such as the rem chest here. Now from here, I do grab the bonfire. And then we head off to that priestess that I was fighting her minions a little bit earlier. Just down there. Now you will notice she does have 40,000 hit points, which is a little bit much. Which is definitely why we didn't want her regenning her hit points, as it can already be kind of annoying. Now, having a death ward definitely helps in here. As you'll notice, I haven't actually used mine yet. I am just waiting a little bit. Ooh. As I'm still able to out-heal most of this damage. And sometimes they do dispel it, so I'm just kind of saving it for that moment where it's going to be a little bit more helpful. Now here again we have another bonfire. And we want to head south. Now in this section here, there will be some traps, actually some by them as well as some elsewhere. See, they kind of ran into one of those for us. So just take out the archers here again. Just watch out and be careful. Once they're dead, of course, we're going to go ahead and grab our traps. Now the traps in here are semi-random. They have a similar pattern here, so there will also be some up here. Alright. So as you see, we don't actually get the full bonus here just yet. Move those here. So our next boss that we have is our Anointed Priestess. Now again, this could have been, rather than at the temple neighborhood, rather than it be the Necro, it could have been the Priestess there. They really do move around. So the first thing I'm going to do here is actually focus on the Drider, as I just find him the most annoying, as they got that trip. Just right there. Alright, so there's that guy. Now as you also see right now, because we're still so far away, hasn't actually gotten their attention. Now obviously, now that I hit her, she will be aggressive and angry towards us. And just like the other one, if she has anybody standing around her, she may sacrifice them. So what I like to do, as she typically starts off with 2 collared villagers here, I will either free them or use unskilled. Unskilled is kind of handy as it will kill them. This immediately forces her not to have those assistances. And wow, that was totally an R-word. From here, just be careful because she will spawn in those spiders. And even if you kill them, she's just going to spawn in more. But luckily for us, the spiders will not count towards whether or not she can insta-kill something. So we can just lay into her, killing her before those spiders. Again, if you want, of course, kill the spiders first, but she may just summon more. Once she's dead, however, definitely want to take out those spiders just to get them off your back. Alright. Now, once you defeat whatever boss is spawned here, it will unlock this chest here. This chest can contain named item, the Drow Smoke Goggles, which we'll grab. It's a fairly common item, typically not really super helpful, but it's there. From here we can light another bonfire. Now here again we have two directions we can go. Now as you see, we do have a slaver here. Ooh, we also have a drider. So with the slaver, it's just like all the other quests. If you are able to kill the slaver, which we have right here, and the second slaver, the collared villagers will actually become passive. At this point, you can actually free them, and they will assist you in fighting. We're gonna do that here, and we're just gonna free them. So there they are running off. We have this one here, which as you can see, can surround them, kind of trapping them. Now they're not super damaging, but they can kill. And again, you can use them to your benefit. Now at this point, we can almost see the last of our bonfires. One there, there's one there, and there's one up there as well. There's also another one over here. So as you can see, there's more bonfires available than are actually required. So we'll grab this one. Then what I'm actually going to do is, rather than continue this path, I'm going to sneak all the way back around. Actually heading up the hill first. Some of those villagers fighting some slain villagers. We'll have a couple of necromancers up here. So I like to take out the necromancers because, again, I hate necromancers in this quest. Just the DR they get, the fact that they raise enemies, which then gives them more DR. You do gotta be careful when you kill them, making sure they don't summon an undead version, which can also raise the dead. Alright, so there we go. Now we'll grab our last one here. As you see, 2,500. So it is worth grabbing, as typically you are running past most of them. Now from here, I will cycle back to the shrines. Go ahead and use those. Now when I use these, I will actually go ahead and use the Death Ward Flask. Typically, I just want to make sure that I do have it available for my end fight. And then we're going to head into this. So you will see a bunch of dead drow. There are going to be some more bear traps. This will be the last of our traps in this area. So basically, before we cross that kind of opening there, it will have the last. Again, another bonfire in here as well. Now there's no harm in getting additional bonfires. It doesn't actually do anything. It does light it up a little bit. Now after these ones, there's typically one or two right at the entrance. Now I personally like to leave them for that reason and that reason alone, is it will get these guys trapped at times. I want to make sure I get those driders. Back. but leaving 1 or 2 selected bear traps can be handy, as again, you can use them as your own little defense. And of course, the one that had to port away was the one that was almost already dead. There's one last guy. And there we go. So again, same thing here. We can see the Drider from here. So we're going to go ahead and take out the Drider. Now again, in here, we'll also have slavers. Now I highly, highly, highly recommend killing off those slavers as fast as possible and getting these collared villagers on your side. Reason being, as you see, there are a few of them. And then you can, again, turn them against the enemies. Here we go. It's just gonna run past. Repair. Sable. And they're gonna then assist you. As you can see, they do dish out a little bit of damage. Now, the best part about this is they add in additional assistance while fighting. And here we are going to have our final boss, our final random mid-boss, who is again another slave master, but now we actually have some guys assisting us. So rather than fighting us, all these guys are just fighting amongst each other. Now, once Big Bad Boss dies, again, the rest of these slaves here will become passive. So just focus on him. There we go. And freeing them will just add additional support. Not really required, but hey, additional guys. From here again we have a bonfire. And then we can move into the end fight. Now, here, before we do, once you've defeated all 3 of these sections, so again, marked on your map by these little diamonds, it will spawn in these guys here. Again, I typically go after the Necromancer first, just to ensure that, well, they're not spawning in any undead zombies and I don't have to kill them twice. From there, I will take out the archers. And then finally, the melee. As you'll notice, they do rubber band. Alright, so there we go. And if you are lucky enough to get these guys as your last one, you'll notice they're actually like right at the edge of being able to attack them. So it's kind of nice there. Unfortunately, she's a priestess and will eat them. So again, dealer's choice on what you want to do. Once you actually get her defeated, so she's gonna again go ahead and kill this guy. So actually I'm gonna back up a touch. Causing him to rubber band. And we'll kill her here, so Didn't seem to care whether or not he was rubber banding. She still kind of destroyed him. Now you notice she really isn't casting a lot of spells. That is partially in return to the fact that I've been draining her stats, which is also how I've been getting her like kind of dazed at getting that sneak attack damage off on her. Do seem to be far enough away now. And there we go. So again, once you defeat this one, we'll be able to head inside here for our final. Now, the final boss has 2 waves. The first wave, she's actually going to be riding a Bebelith, after which you kill the Bebelith, and now you're just fighting her as an archer. So the first wave, there really isn't any safe spot to really fight from. On top of that, they will constantly spawn in these spider waves, and that just continues throughout the entirety of the quest, like the end fight here. So you gotta watch out, because endless spawning enemies does mean endless chance for Reapers. Now, personally, I choose to actively try not to kill the spiders when I'm in heroic, that is, or in epic. Just because, again, when I'm not in Reaper. Because when I'm in Reaper, that's just that many more chances of, well, Reaper spawning in. If I'm in just plain old epic, elite, or whatever, I typically don't care that much, as I don't have to worry about Reaper spawning in. It's not really that big of a deal. Other than the fact that there's a lot of them. So it is a red name, it does have a lot of hit points. So basically you want to give it everything you got. Take her down as fast as you can. So as you notice, kind of here in the corner, the Bebelith really doesn't know how to get to you, so she stops. However, the spiders, they can still get to you there. So it's not really, like I said, it's not really a safe spot for this one. Little guys, watch. Trying to get all that added damage in there from standing still. Now you will notice it is casting a lot of webs, so just watch yourself there. Now, once the Red Weaver actually goes down, and you are fighting essentially the person on top of it, they are an archer, so they typically will run away, which is beneficial for us as they're not melee. They don't really want to get up to us. So there is a second kind of nice little safe spot, as it were. it goes. And it's simply just right here on this pyre here. Now the spiders will head up to you to come up here. However, oftentimes they get stuck. And they can only get you one at a time. And, well, one at a time is a lot easier. It gives you a little bit of spare time. At this point, we can just fight the boss. Stormhorn spiders way up there. Alright, so it really is just the archer here. These guys are not actually able to hit us. So we're gonna just fight the boss. Now obviously jumping doesn't really work so well here. So just watch yourself. Oh. Somebody's hitting me. Now, once she takes X amount of damage, what's going to happen is down the path there for where we actually entered in here, she's mentioning here. So she will do text notification, like dialogue notification. It will actually start spawning in some enemies down here for us. There it is. Battle's not over. Troops rally to me. So this will be her first wave that she summons. Again, they're going to come down the side. Now, typically, I always recommend killing them first. Just get rid of the trash. Especially trash that isn't going to respawn. But you will, however, rubber band. So if they come too far to this side, which is another reason why this spire is so nice, as these guys that are rushing up to try and attack you can't quite make it and will rubber band. Alright, so then again, once you've done that, just going to want to go ahead and beat on her some more. Now after some time, she will spawn in another wave. This one I do want to save some endless for, as it is going to be a few of those driders. So just watch for her notification there. And once she calls in the driders, what you can do is actually sit here at the end fight, just killing all the random trash until you get that conquest. So here we go. So we almost had that one. Oh, this might not be. This is it. Yeah. So unfortunately we did die. Luckily enough, again, just right around the corner here, we do have those shrines. So it's not the end of the world if you go down. Unless of course you can't. Ooh, that was close. Unless of course you can't make it. Now at this point, in this section, this is actually where they're going to be spawning in. So it makes it a little bit easier to kill off the trash. Plus, if you remember, we actually have some allies down over here that we can make use of. Now you do gotta be careful, because if you drag the boss over here, and not just the trash mobs, it will rubber band, spawning it back up to full hit points, and then you gotta start the whole fight over. Luckily, it won't count all the spawns, so now that we've done this wave of these driders, they won't actually spawn in another wave of driders. So the waves are done. Awesome. So I'm gonna just try and get rebuffed, get those Reaper attacks and our Endless back, and we'll just head in and finish off the boss. So we do have Conquest. You notice where we died there, all the spiders are now frozen, so they kind of have their aggro over there, which is awesome. We'll just leave them there. Now that they're dead, we will take them out. And yeah, so even with the death, that did take us 36 and a half minutes. We got another 100,000 XP, so overall, not too terrible. And here we got our end chest. After that, go ahead and recall. And we're done. So again, we got another set of those Drow smoke goggles. And yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. It's been a blast, and I will see you guys later. Have a good one all.